Hope everyone has had a good day. I'm just having a look to see if I can see some sort of preview because they don't put one up on the WWE.com, of course. So just going over to X to see if there's anything over there, and I don't think there's anything that's gone up. No. A lot of stuff to do with John Cena at the moment, as you could understand. Let's have a look and see if Robert Stone has put a bit of a preview out, because I know that's something that he does from time to time, and yes, there is one. Okay, let's go over to that, shall we? We'll have a look. I've not seen this yet. We'll see what they've got in store for us tonight.
I'm Robert Stone. And I'm Blake Howard. And this is your weekly WWE Evolve 2B teaser.
And Rob, as we're getting ready to wind down 2025, the stakes raise even higher on Wednesday nights on Evolve, as tonight you will find out who will be the new #1 contender. The Jackson Drakes Evolve Championship on one side. You've got Tate Wilder on the other. You've got Sean Legacy. Listen, these two guys have been friends in the past. Let's see what happens tonight.
Yeah, plus Layla Diggs one-on-one with Nikita Lyons, and these two straight up do not like each other. No TikTok video could bring them a friendship. It ain't gonna happen at this point.
And we're certainly talking about a contenders match. We're talking about a grudge match. But what I'm most excited for, Rob, how about a debut tonight as the Bayou Boy, Drake Moreau, officially arrives on Evolve.
That's right. Yeah.
There he is. That's what I'm talking about, boys. Wednesday night, Evolve on Tubi at 8 o'clock. I'm showing up and I'm showing the whole world that when you step in the ring with me, you stepping into the swamp with Drake Moreau. And when they ring that bell, it's Paya!
Oh, okay.
See you later, alligator. Now, if that don't get you fired up, Blake, and shake them knees, that's what I'm talking about, baby. Come on now, woo! At 8 o'clock, I'm showing up and I'm showing the whole world that when you step in the ring with me, you stepping into the swamp with Drake Moreau. And when they ring that bell, it's Paya!
Oh, okay.
See you later, alligator. Moreau. And when they ring that bell, it's Paya!
Oh, okay.
See you later. And when they ring that bell, it's Paya!
Oh, okay.
See you later.
It's what? It's Payao. What does that even mean? What does that even mean? I don't even know what that means. When you step in the ring, it's Payao! I don't know what that means.
Me? You stepping into the swamp with Drake Moreau. And when they ring that bell, it's Paya!
Oh, okay.
See you later, alligator. Now, if that don't get you fired up, Blake, and shake them knees, that's what I'm talking about, baby. Come on now, woo!
What? Really, Blake? It's infectious. God. See you tonight, 8 p.m. on Tubi.
Payao! Okay, there we go. So, Drake Monroe, I don't know anything about him, although I believe he is the partner of someone, maybe Roxanne. And this is going to be his Evolve debut. I think we've seen a vignette of him, and he's a Bayou Boy. I don't know what the Payao thing means. I'm not sure if that's going to be some sort of catchphrase. I have never heard that in my life. And I don't know what the shaking of the knees stuff is. Or if I think of Bayous, I think of Skinner and, Gators, Gator wrestling, those kind of boats with a big fan on the back. I don't really get the Payao bit, and I don't get the shaking the knees bit, and so I am actually quite interested to see the presentation of this. What is the presentation of this going to be? I mean, in my mind, it's going to be Bayou, kind of that sort of. I don't know how you would word it. It's not country bumpkin, is it? I mean, I don't want to be offensive, but it's that sort of vibe, isn't it? Isn't it like a ukulele type? Banjo, that's the word. Banjo, yeah. That kind of music I'm sort of thinking of. We're going for all the stereotypes. So, Payao! Well, do you know what? Considering it was like a minute long, minute 19, and that dude didn't enter until at least halfway through, I feel like I got a little bit out of that. Yeah, I mean, this doesn't seem like the greatest show. Nikita Lyons is someone that I struggle with personally because I just don't think she's found her groove. I find her to be quite irritating. She does all that sort of, I don't know, her personality is like someone that I think would be into crystals and candles and, all that kind of stuff. She gives off that sort of energy. She gives off a very confusing energy, actually, because she also tries to be like a fierce lion cat that's got an MMA background, that probably is into, like, you know, some sort of like spiritual healing. That's the kind of vibe I get from Nikita Lyons. It's kind of hard to take all of that and present a character. I mean, you've got a lot to work with, but a little bit too much, and we seem to be a bit all over the road. So Nikita's someone that I just don't think has clicked. I don't know if there's just maybe not a bit too much going on there. We need to like dial into something. I really like the idea of Nikita being a bit of like some sort of queen, like Game of Thrones type situation, where she is like a queen from like the flipping, I don't know, 1700s, something like that. Not have her come out like in big gowns or anything, but have her be a bit Xena warrior princess. That's the sort of vibe I think I'd be looking at. Maybe stop dancing. Maybe move away from the spiritual healing. Yeah. Maybe think more Xena warrior princess is the sort of vibe I would be thinking for Nikita Lyons. I don't, you know, this is not a knock of her as a person. I'm talking about the character. I find the character to be a little bit all over the road. And then in regards to, so she's going to be in action. I think she said against, or they said Layla Diggs. Drake Monroe, interested to see the presentation. And then a number one contenders match. So Tate Wilder, who we've seen a few times, he's going to be taking on Sean Legacy. Sean Legacy seemed to be teasing a little bit of a heel turn. Seemed to be a little bit, you know, looking past Tate Wilder. Plus, Sean Legacy got his shot, didn't he, against Jackson Drake, and it didn't work out. So I'm thinking Tate might stand a chance here of getting the win. That might mean that Sean Legacy starts to spiral a little bit. And so that could be kind of interesting. So there's a few bits that we've got with Evolve tonight. Don't know. I feel like Evolve could really do with something really juicy happening. You know, something that's really going to grab our attention. I sort of feel like this feels like it's another episode that's just going to be okay. I think you're going to see some okay action. And I think it's going to be okay. But I don't know if it's going to do much more than that. Right, let's go over to the chat and see where we are. Nikita, the person, is a bit off too. She's got some crazy conspiracies. She thinks the earth is flat, says Rob. Oh, really? I have no idea, to be honest. I don't really know any of these as people. I'm just talking about the characters. I didn't know that. I mean, I didn't know that. I didn't know that she was... Well, a lot of people are into conspiracies. I mean, I think Shiloh Hill's no stranger to conspiracy theories. But, yeah, Earth being flat is a bit of a wild one, isn't it? Ajit Carr said, Daze Evolve should be great tonight. Well, I hope so. We found a few bits to look forward to. I don't think it's going to be an episode as good as, you know, maybe some that we've seen recently, because we've really been treated to some really good stuff. I mean, we've had Succession, we've had some big championship matches, we've had some big arrivals. This one feels a little bit more subdued, but hey, there's an opportunity there for someone to grab our attention and make us notice them. So we'll have to see how that Drake Monroe does. James, hello. Shout out to you. Hope you're doing well. I saw that Real Madrid did lose tonight and puts a bit more pressure on their manager. I kind of like seeing Real Madrid struggle because they've had way too much success in their time. So it is kind of good seeing them struggle, to be honest. So, yeah, I was kind of pleased to see Man City win, which is not a sentence I enjoy saying. Maybe they should do a battle royal, said Ajikar. Hey, that's a great shout. That is actually a great shout. That is a great shout because I think that'd be a great way of getting a lot of people on the show. Be a great way of kind of causing some drama because when people get eliminated, that can kickstart some feuds. Maybe you could have a few NXT talents in there. Yeah, I like that. Maybe a battle royal could be really fun. I think I just want something to just come on. Let's do something. Let's shake it up a little bit. Let's do something. Maybe even like just a gauntlet match where you never know who's coming out next. And again, mix in some NXT talent. I know the primary purpose of this show is to put the spotlight on that talent that's trying to become NXT ready. So, we have to keep the spotlight there. But I don't know. I feel like we could be doing a little bit more. But to be honest, it's December. We all know what December's like. I think it was James that made this point the other day. December is a time in the year that is a little bit underwhelming. We don't do a PLE at this time of year. A lot of people are turning their attention to the holidays, thinking about buying gifts and sorting out how they're going to see their families and all that kind of. It's such a weird time of the year that I suppose in a way it's just John Cena this weekend, and then it's just going to be a couple of weeks of a bit of chaos with the holidays and New Year, and then everything kind of gets back to normal come January as we kind of head towards the Royal Rumble. So yeah, I suppose bearing that in mind, it probably makes sense. But it would be nice for us to, do some fun stuff as we get into 2026. So hopefully Evolve's got a few tricks up its sleeve. Tag belts would be good. Let's get some tag belts. And then we could have the tag teams going after something as well. Right, King, shout out to you. King Notorious said, here's a tip for the tip jar. Well, thank you, King Notorious. King Notorious, I just saw hanging out with us on the member stream. So, King Notorious, thank you, my friend. And I really do appreciate it. I haven't actually looked at my chair fund, but my chair fund is where it's going to be going. And yeah, I think I will probably try and get a new chair for 2026. I mean, this thing is battered now. I can't quite show you the arm part, but it is pretty knackered. Let's put it that way. All the foam and everything is exposed, and it's all. I don't even think it sits right anymore, honestly. If I was to sit back, I'd be like that, and I don't think that's the right posture for an office chair to be like that far back. I can't get it any more forward. I feel like I should be like here, shouldn't I? I feel like that's sitting up straight. But look where the chair is. That's not right. That's not right. And there's no setting or anything that I could go back. But that's the furthest forward it goes. That's not right, is it? I should be like that. I am ruining my posture. Absolutely trashing it. So, yeah, I think it is a bit of a priority now. I mean, it's been a priority for a while, so. King Notorious, thank you anyway. It's going to that. I am going to get that sorted. It's just so eye-watering when you look at the prices. Have you looked at the prices of chairs? It is unbelievable how expensive they are. Like, you would think like $50 or £50, maybe £100. Flipping, do you know what I mean? Like, they go up to like £1,000. If you want something that you use all the time, something really reliable that's got really good support and everything. It's like, I mean, you don't have to go that far, of course, but it's like hundreds and hundreds. It's mental. So anyway, thank you. Appreciate it, my friend. Robbie said, Daze, when do we see the likes of Sean Legacy, Adrenaline Drip, Swipe Right going up to NXT? The tag division could use that boost. It's only Dark State, Hank and Tank, OTM right now. Well, I think the truth is that they don't care about tag team wrestling, right? I know that's not big breaking news, but I think the truth is that the tag division is the division that always seems to suffer the most. In the pecking list, it's men first, then it's women, then it's tag teams, right? And I don't think there can be too much debate about that, because how many times have the women main evented WrestleMania? I mean, they've main evented night one once, and they've main evented the whole show for WrestleMania 35, right? And I think that, like, they deserve to, be in consideration for main eventing a lot more. But they're not, and I don't think there's too many doubts as to what's going to main event this year as well. It's probably going to be Cody, Roman, Punk, blah, 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 blah. And the same will be true of SummerSlam. And, normally it's the women that open the show with Elimination Chamber or War Games like we just saw, and it's the men that close the show. So, I mean, there's more work to be done for the women to close that gap on the men. So I think it's like in that order. I think it's the guys first, I think it's the women next, and then I think it's the tag teams. And the tag teams are, I'd say the men and the women are relatively close, but for me, there's not much. You can't really argue the women are given more opportunity than the men, and the tag teams are given even less, aren't they? So I think they just don't really massively care about tag team wrestling. I mean, if they did, you could absolutely call those teams up now. I mean, I would say when it comes to the men and women's divisions, they're probably just waiting for the NXT talent to get called up to the main roster. And then that'll free up some spaces for them to call up some Evolve talent. And obviously we've seen like Shiloh Hill come in. We've seen Lainey Reed come in. So there's been a few that have gone to NXT. But we haven't really seen the tag teams moving. And I think, once they get their roster, once the main roster gets its roster sorted and we call up talent, there'll be a review of the roster. I'd imagine at that point you'll see some movement, including the tag teams. So I just think, like, with the main roster being as stagnant as it has been, that has, kind of filtered down to all the other levels. So we sort of need to get the main roster sorted first as the priority. Everything else will then fall into place. But tag team wrestling just seems to be very much bottom of the priority list. Shakeem, thank you, my friends. Appreciate the supports. I never watched Evolve. How would you say it is, says Najee Wave. I know the concept. I'm wondering if it's good. I would say that it is skippable if you are someone that just doesn't really need to go to this level. I think that you have got to find enjoyment in seeing that talent that's about to go to NXT. For me, a large part of the enjoyment I get from Evolve is looking at talent that are trying to work out their characters, their entrance poses, they've got some generic graphics, generic music, coming down to the ring, looking at the moveset, looking at how they engage the crowd, looking at the pacing, looking at the selling, looking at the ring gear, looking at the character, looking at the catchphrases or listening to the catchphrases, listening to the promos. Like, I think if you like getting in the weeds and you enjoy going into that level of detail, then I think that there's joy to be found in Evolve. And even if you don't enjoy that, genuinely, there has been on a very consistent basis some really good matches coming out of Evolve. I suppose the concern I would have is that if you call up Kendal Gray, and it feels like she's pretty much been called up, if you call up Kendal Gray, you call up, say, Jack Cartwheel, if you call up several people, which they will get called up, have we got that great talent to replace them? Because I think Kendal Gray, Callie Armstrong, they've been responsible for some of those great Evolve matches. And so if you call them up, then, we're going to kind of miss out on that. Wendy, Choo and Kylie Ray was really good. Definitely got to give them their flowers, but we know that Kylie Ray's obviously pregnant and has stepped away. So we're not going to see her for a while, unfortunately. Swipe Right were doing some really good stuff, but as was just pointed out, there's not many tag teams for them to work with, and they've kind of worked with them. There's no tag titles. It still feels like there's a bit of evolving needed for this brand. But what I will say is that it does feel like a brand. We do have regulars that we see. We do get backstage segments. We do get good in-ring promos, contract sign-ins. We do get things along those lines. There are like little, like It's Gall doing his studometer type stuff, There are like these little vignettes. we did have Stevie as like the mayor, the prime minister of Evolve, and so we even had like a GM character. So, I mean, I think they've done a really good job of making this feel like a brand, its own brand, making it feel like a proper brand. But, I mean, we don't have Stevie anymore, which is a real shame. I think that's a real miss. And I think that, as we said, it could probably do with a bit of a shake-up. We've only had one special, which was Succession, and we kind of built towards that, and we had both belts being defended on that show. And so I think we could, you know, definitely set a date for another Succession, maybe in January. And we could, as I said, maybe introduce some tag titles, maybe some sort of regular It's Goal talk show could be really good. I also had an idea as well, which I really wanted to send to It's Goal. I was going to send him a tweet today and just go, listen, how about this? Have you thought about this? Have it, right? But I had to look and I couldn't see his social media. But I was like, how about Goal Team instead of Protein? Goal Team, right? And it's a supplement that he swears by. Because you know he's all about the gains. He's all about the studometer. He's all about being jacked and showing off. And I was like, imagine if he like does little fun vignettes where he's struggling in the gym, he just doesn't have the energy, and then he takes his goal team, and all of a sudden he's like, and he's pumped and he's going. I was even wondering if you could sort of do it like mid-match, where, you know, he's kind of getting beaten up in the match. He goes to the outside. He's over by the commentary table. He's putting a few scoops of the Galtine into his shaker. He's on there and he's doing his shaker. And the commentator's like, what are you doing? Like, get back in the ring. I need it. And he has his Galtine. And as soon as he has it, it's like, okay. And then he's back in there and he's like, I was kind of thinking, like, that would be really fun. I think that would be a good addition to his character, because he's all about the gains. He's all about getting swole. I think that you could go as far with that as you want to, actually having that Galtine instead of Protein. So I was going to send him that as a message. I was like, here, have it. You know, I think that could be something that would be a really good addition to your character. Because at the moment, he's only got the studometer. So I think he is a bit of a comedy character, if we're being honest. So you don't have to be too serious with him. But certainly the vignettes of him backstage struggling and then having the Galtine and then getting swole and getting good gains and all that stuff. I thought there could be some humor in that. So yes, that to me, like, and thinking, like we said earlier about Nikita, and we were talking about her character, and we were talking about the fact that she feels like a spiritual healer, or she's into spiritual healing and crystals and all that sort of stuff. But then also she has got all these kicks and martial arts because she's got that background. But then when she comes out, she does look like something from, you know, Dungeons and Dragons. Because she's got like all this furry, looks like she's come from the Iced Rotunda or something like this. Like, it's like she's been, like, you know, coming from Alaska. She's like the Alaskan iceberg queen. There's a lot going on with Nikita Lyons, to be honest, the character. So you kind of look at that and go, right, how would you tidy that up? How would you clean that up? What would you do with that? And I think that's really fun. I really enjoy all that sort of stuff. I said before, I think if I'd been in wrestling and my career had come to an end, I would love to go into that sort of creative where you get to just chuck ideas out and go, how about this? How about that? Tweak that, change that, tighten that. Have you thought about using that move? Or, you know, that sort of giving feedback, giving ideas, helping people. Because there's a lot of wrestlers, a lot of people that come through, say, next in line, that don't have that sort of knowledge or history of wrestling that they can dig into. Obviously, there's coaches and trainers and everything, but imagine helping those people going, hey, have you thought about this? I mean, honestly, if you was a wrestler and you were struggling, I think you would really appreciate that help. I mean, sometimes you don't know where to turn, do you? You might have tried the ideas that you've got and they might not have landed. So it might be really good to have someone go, listen, I think you need to simplify this. I think what you're doing is probably too much. You need to just focus it a little bit more. And that could really unlock a way forward for some people. So yeah, I think all of that is really interesting. I think if that's something that interests you, I think Evolve is a great watch. But I think if you're someone that just wants to watch a show, not really think on that level, and you just want to enjoy Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, the star power, you're going to struggle with Evolve. Because Evolve doesn't have that star power, does it? These are people trying to be stars. But we've seen some great matches. We've seen some really great stuff. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to what Evolve has got for us in the future. Hannah said, Daze, that was a wonderful member stream. It had some awesome vibes. Would you ever see TNA surpassing AEW as number 2? Would you like to see that? I don't really mind, honestly. I mean, I don't really focus on TNA, AEW. I mean, I like TNA and their partnership with WWE. I think that's obviously a positive for both. AEW we joke about, but I mean, I think it's great that they exist. I wouldn't want to see AEW go out of business. I certainly wouldn't want to see them become number 1. I think that I'm quite happy, actually, personally, with where they are, because they feel far enough away where we don't have a lot of tribalism. There is still a little bit, but there's not a lot of tribalism because I think WWE are quite comfortable in their position at number 1. I think that AEW are relatively comfortable in their position at 2, although TNA going to AMC, I'm not sure what that will do. But, I mean, think about when Luke Harper left. We all loved Harper in the Wyatt family, and when he left, there was a home for him at AEW. And you think about Daniel Bryan, he left and there was a place for him. And you think about Jon Moxley as well, who, he was not, it wasn't right, that Dean Ambrose character at the end. I mean, he was really lost and struggling. He was really struggling. They just couldn't find the right way to present him. And I'm sure we would have worked it out and tried a few things and it would have been fine. Same with Seth. Seth, when he was the Messiah, I don't think that was very good. But we came through that. He became the visionary. He had that song. People loved that. Created the vision. Seth, Seth's fine. Seth will always be fine. You can just keep, trying new things. He's been Monday Night Rollins. He's been the architect. He's been the Messiah. He's been the visionary. He's in the vision. Was in the vision. Now he's been attacked by Braun. God only knows what he's going to come back like. This absence for him could be completely game-changing because when Seth comes back, he could be probably coming back as a babyface because he got murked by Braun and he is going to want revenge. So I'm guessing he comes back as a babyface. Is he going to change his music? Is he going to stop wearing wacky clothes? Is it time for another reinvention? So, Dean Ambrose towards his time was struggling. I'm sure he would have worked it out, but he was struggling. And he went to AEW, and I think he's loved it. We spoke about it the other day. I think he is naturally someone that's into his violence, that's into his blood and guts and gore and pushing those boundaries, his death matches. He ain't going to do that in WWE. Certainly not on a regular basis, if ever at all. So I look at AEW as really serving a purpose that WWE don't serve, for being a place for wrestlers where WWE let them go and there's a home for them. There's not really a reason, if you're a WWE fan, to hate on AEW right now. They're no threat. They could be a threat. So, you got to keep an eye on kind of how their business is going. But their ratings are below NXT at the moment. And, I think that they had a real hot start. I think that things were really good for them during the pandemic. They obviously were getting loads of exposure. They had good name power with like Jericho, Kenny Omega. They came out the gates hot. But, it's hard, isn't it? Because where are they going to get those next stars from? I mean, where's that next Jericho for them? Where's that next big name? I mean, they were really fortunate to get Mercedes. You know, they were really fortunate to get Mercedes. Maybe they've reached out to Braun Strowman, but would that be a game changer? Maybe with his new show, but I don't think it would be. I don't think that would have the impact Jericho had. You know, I mean, they've got Jericho, they've got Edge, and they still can't do NXT ratings. It's hard, isn't it? I mean, it's hard. You got to say it's hard. So, yeah, no, who's number 2 doesn't really bother me, honestly. I don't know if it really bothers too many people. Like, I'd imagine it probably bothers TNA fans or AEW fans. But to be honest, TNA fans are going to be thrilled just to be in that conversation, aren't they? They'll just be thrilled to be even in the conversation. Daze, do we think WWE needs to enter a new era? What is the current era called? I think a major shake-up is needed, said Rentfree. Well, there's been a bit of argument around what this era should be called. I'm not sure, to be honest, I'm not sure that we're kind of still doing the era thing. It's a little bit hit and miss in places. I mean, obviously, you know, Golden Era, Attitude Era, Ruthless Aggression Era, PG Era. You've got all of those, but to be honest with you, I don't really know what 2018 would be referred to. I mean, there was one that was kind of loosely being called the Reality Era. And I mean, you know, it all gets a bit sketchy, to be honest. We don't really work so much in eras. It's just WWE is a product that just keeps moving forwards. Obviously, this has been proposed as the Paul Levesque era, the Triple H era. But I don't know if that's going to really work, because how long does that last? We're not going to really know, to be honest, until he goes. If he was to go in a few years, then I think this would be looked at as the Triple H era, if he went soon. But what if he's still here in 20 years' time? Like, is this whole thing going to be the Triple H era? Probably not. Probably not. So we might not get the answer to that until Triple H steps away, or a more obvious era arrives, you know? But Paul Levesque, Triple H era, I think is probably the front runner for this. Some might say the TKO era, but again, it all depends when TKO sell. If TKO were to sell soon, then maybe this would be remembered as the TKO era, because that would be the significant thing that represented this era. But we don't know yet what the significant thing is. But Paul Levesque Triple H era is what's been mentioned. I don't even know if people call 2020 and 2021 the pandemic era. I call it that. But I don't know that it's got that as a name. But those 2 years, I think, you know, you could maybe even a bit of 2022 you could call like the pandemic era. But then I do think there's some other bits that get... I don't think the era thing is as strong as Golden Era, New Generation Era, Attitude. They're concrete. We know those, right? We know those. But like, it gets a bit sketchy when you get like into the modern day. So, do they need a new era? I would say the era thing is just pointless. It's a pointless conversation. WWE is just going to keep moving forwards. So eras are just defined by things that were happening. So you don't necessarily need a new era. What you need is good creative ideas that's going to make this product hot again. So I think, you know, I expect Triple H to obviously stay in the job. I expect TKO to remain the owners. I don't expect any changes in that regard. I just hope that creative can start delivering ideas and execution that we, you know, really are invested in. I think the failure this year has been the top end of the card. I think if you look at the vision, it was undercooked. It was undercooked. We did not invest enough in it. We did not flesh out the characters enough. We did not put them in interesting enough stories. There was not enough backstage segments. And, I think that the group felt like there was a piece or two that was missing. That group probably needed Austin Theory in it from the start, you know, rather than like, you know, drip feed stuff into it. And even now, I mean, they've added Logan, which doesn't do anything for me, right? I'm not crazy about that, as you can imagine. That's not someone that I was looking to be a beneficiary of this. But yeah, I think like a Theory would be a good addition, but I think he would have been good from the beginning. So I think it's hard to argue the Vision story has been flat. And then, of course, the John Cena heel run was not very well received. There's even been matches like him against Brock that has not been well received. And so I think you can even point to the John Cena final year and say, well, that didn't deliver like we were hoping that it would. I think listening to John is pleased because I think John had a lot of challenges, actually. Things that we don't really think about. You know, one of them being insurance and the fact that, you know, he was doing some movie stuff but also wrestling and the impact that had on the insurance. And he's like, you know, that cost a lot of money to for me to get insured, because if I got injured in wrestling, that was a big problem for the movies that I was committed to. So I think John looks at it a different way. He looks at it as all these obstacles that he's had to try and overcome, that he has overcome. So, for example, he knows his body is not in the place it was. So can he put on matches consistently? I think he's had 18 this year. Can he have consistent matches throughout the year that don't stink the place out, right? That don't let down the brand, and that are worthy of being a John Cena match? And of course, we know him against Cody, him against AJ Styles, you know, absolutely fantastic. But John was like, I have pulled every trick out of the book possible to make these matches as good as possible. Any trick he knows, all the experience is built up. He has played every card he's had to try and make these matches enjoyable. And, of course, you know, WrestleMania, it wasn't right. I think in his mind, he wanted that match to be slow because he was looking at the bigger story. That's what he says. I mean, I disagree with John. I think that, you know, WrestleMania, people watch in isolation. I don't think you can say, oh, that match sucked and it was slow, but it was part of a story where they then went to SummerSlam. And, you know, and I don't even think the story makes much sense, to be honest. So I think John was looking at the obstacles he had to overcome this year. And I think he's really pleased that he has overcome them, has got through to the end of the year, has had moments that have added to his career, his highlight reel. And I think he's thrilled in that regard, genuinely. I don't think he looks back at this as being a bad year. But I think for us that had high hopes for things and wanted, you know, we had ideas of things we wanted instead of what we got. I think many people will look at this year as being disappointing that, you know, we got some of the angles we got and some of the matches we got. You know, 2 matches against R-Truth, probably not needed. 2 matches against Dominic, probably not needed. Not the worst, but probably not needed. I don't think he needed a match with Logan. I don't think he needed that match with Brock. And so you can kind of put a bit of a list together. Those tag matches, his last match on Raw being a tag match was a bit underwhelming. It's not what it was. A fun match. It was fine and a fun match, but not what I was really looking for, to be honest. Some people might say shouldn't have been in there against Sami Zayn, maybe in his last SmackDown match. There was a tag match as well in the middle of the year, of course, where I think he teamed with Logan. Didn't need that. So, you know, there's a few bits that, you know, for me weren't right. And that was a big focus this year. And then, of course, you've got, because he was around the title, that kind of meant that for a chunk of the year, the title was involved with that Cena retirement. So for me, next year, you've got to make your 2 world champions, the men's world champions, you've got to put them in better creative. And if you can do that, I think you'll go a good way to fixing not all the problems, but a good chunk, because it's those top stories and it's those 2 champions that really drive the business. The reason why we had all the success we had was because of the bloodline and Roman Reigns. That's why we just had the success. Didn't matter about the rest of the card. Didn't matter about the mid card or the tag titles. That was just garnish. That was just extra. But it was the bloodline and that storyline that was really driving the business and the success. So those two titles, you got to get that right. And of course, the women, you know, but the women will kill it anyway. I'm not worried about the women. You kind of look at the talent there and you're just like, that's going to be fine. Really not worried about them. You know, Becky, brilliant. She's doing great work right now. Stephanie, we're continuing to build. Liv Morgan just came back. Bianca will come back. So, you know, I think that's going to be absolutely fine. So all of that stuff, not worried about. But yeah, we need to just get those two champions sorted and those stories sorted. WWE is always going to be my go-to, said Liam, but I feel like everything has been a bit overbooked. It's hard to explain, but it feels like there's been no leniency and it's all too perfect. The result is that it's flat. Ikrazi said, is the show on Netflix? No, the show for Evolve is on Tubi. So you have to go to Tubi. It's a free... they've got Centurions, you know, on Tubi. Used to watch that as a kid. I used to have the figures as well. They're guys that have got holes on their suits and they can add, you know, jetpacks if they need to, or stuff that allows them to go underwater or whatever. So it's an old car. I haven't seen that in flipping 20 odd years more. Centurions. Listen, honestly, Tubi's great. Every week I sit here and go, wow, I could look, Dark Side of the Ring. That's on there. I always go, yeah, this is amazing. Some really brilliant stuff, and then I don't do anything. Stone Cold Takes on America is on there as well. Rivals is on there. WWE Rivals. You can watch all those episodes. Loads of films and bits and bobs. WWE Legends is on there. But Tubi, the weekly Wednesday show, the lost brand of WWE, is on there. So you have to go there. If you're in the UK, you need a VPN to go over to America. James said, Callie Armstrong is easily the best thing to come out of Evolve, says James. Akeem said, John Cena Christmas special with Glenn Campbell. Carol Burnett, a musical guest, the Osmonds, says Akeem. Sounds great. I think, did Glenn Campbell die? I think he did. I know that he had dementia. Yeah. 2017. I remember he had an album out which was called Ghosts on a Canvas. And it was all about knowing that you were suffering with dementia and that you were going to be forgetting everything, you know. And he was able to record it. It's a hell of an album. It's a really great album. I was just looking actually to see if he released anything after that, but I can't find his. Oh, here it is. Discography. I think he did. Don't think that was his last album. Ghost on the Canvas, 2011. See You There is the 63rd studio album and the last that was released. So he did release one more. It was recorded around the same time as Ghost on the Canvas, but it got put on hold when he undertook his goodbye tour. Oh, that's crazy, isn't it? Imagine doing a goodbye tour knowing that you are actually saying goodbye to people because your life is coming to an end. The 63rd studio album by Glenn Campbell, the last one to be released in his lifetime, was recorded around the same time, but it got put on hold. I can see things like Wichita Lineman on there, so it must have been, and Rhinestone Cowboy. So I think some of this is like a re-recording of classics. So it's kind of... not sure how much you would class that as a real new album. But Ghost on the Canvas, I thought was very good. I'm just looking at the reviews of it, like 4 stars, 7 out of 10 type stuff. Some good tracks on it. I like Glenn Campbell. My grandparents were into Glenn Campbell, so I kind of grew up listening to him. Right, let's get back to how long we got. 14 minutes. 14 minutes. 63 studio albums. That's amazing, says Akeem. He's got a hell of a career. I mean, he's decades he was putting music out for. It is crazy, isn't it? 63 studio albums. I mean, even if he did one a year, that's 63 years. I do agree. That is mental. I wonder who's released the most. ChatGPT or no? Who has released the most studio albums? Let's see. Who's released the most studio albums? Just out of interest. Masami Akita, known as Merzbow, yeah, we all know him as Merzbow, has released hundreds. Last count, 453 studio albums, 87 live albums. Buckethead, didn't he replace Slash in Guns N' Roses? Buckethead is perhaps the most prolific rock instrumental person. His Pike series has got hundreds of releases. Some sources claim he's got over 600 albums. Jesus. Those seem to be the top two. Buckethead and Masami Akita. One's got 450 odd and the other's got 600. Thank you, ChatGPT. Big Time said Daze, being at the level they're at ratings-wise is absolutely good because it does lessen the tribalism. If you remember the narrative being pushed by Meltzer and AEW fans when comparing... Yeah, no, I agree. I think that as a WWE fan, I mean, I'm a pro wrestling fan. I mean, I've watched AEW for years. I watched NWA. I watched New Japan. I've been to indie shows like Fight Club Pro. So it's not only WWE, but WWE was what got me into, professional wrestling. But I know what I like and I know what I'm not a fan of. And I just there's enough with WWE for me. I'm quite happy with that. I don't need to venture out of it. I can watch their developmental. I can watch the developmental of their developmental. I can cast an eye over at AAA now. I can have a little glance over at TNA. We got that partnership. We got Raw. We got SmackDown. We got Saturday Night's Main Event. We got the PLEs. Like, I'm done. I've got enough. I'm all right, thanks. So I'm quite happy with everything I've got. So for me as a WWE fan, I'm quite happy with kind of where AEW are. They exist. They're a good alternative. It's good employment opportunity for anyone that leaves WWE or, in Ospreay's case, just never wanted to come to WWE in the first place. It's good there's another place out there you can make money. But it is true, they're so far away from Raw and SmackDown at the moment that they're... I don't know. I mean, I don't engage in the tribalism online anyway. So I don't see it. I have no idea if it's still running rampant or not. But I've got to think it's settled down. When it was like 2020 pandemic and they were beating NXT and setting their sights on Raw and all that kind of stuff, like, it was fiery. It was really fiery. But, everyone would wait for the ratings and there'd be a big reaction whenever the ratings would come out. Are they going to get a milli this week? That was the first time I'd ever heard milli. Are they going to get a milli? Like, are they going to get a million? Normally they wouldn't. It would be 800 and some thousand. But, people would be like, oh, they're going to get the milli. I've got to think it's probably settled down now, which is good because, honestly, it was just a bit of a waste of time, wasn't it, really? Rob said, how can you call yourself a true wrestling fan if you've not seen ARW Pro? Well, this is true. I have checked out a couple of the matches online. Wanted to see what Trog was all about. I think we all have. I think we've all wanted to check out the Trogster. So I can't tell you the venue, though. I'm sure Carmen could. But yeah, ARW Pro. That's the promotion of our hearts. WWE is the promotion that we spend the time watching because it takes up a lot of time. But the promotion of our hearts is ARW Pro. Jennifer said, I've got some good news. I'm going to get a breathing machine at the end of the week. Oh, Jennifer, shout out to you. Congrats. Big Time said, I remember being a fan in 2021, and I was sweating buckets when Punk debuted. All Out was going to close with Cole and Bryan. Grand Slam when things were getting super hot. I mean, I never sweated about it, but I never found myself that involved. But yeah, I mean, when Punk came in, definitely was a big moment for AEW, and doesn't that seem like a lifetime ago now? Trini said, Daze, which female NXT talent do we think is going to have a strong 2026? I think Sol Ruka is going to have a big 2026. I think she's been held back. I think, it's crazy to think she's not been NXT champ. And, she's so athletic and she is so innovative. And, she has appeared on the main roster a couple of times already. And actually, they could have chose anyone for this weekend to showcase. WWE are obviously going to select the talents that they think are going to be the most eye-catching. And so, of course, they've gone for Javon and Leon, right? Oba, because he's completely different. His strength, his size, right? I thought they would go Ricky, because I think he's a good worker, and I think he would have great chemistry with Cody. But they've gone, let's really blow their minds with this monster that's coming through Oba Femi, which I do understand the logic to that. And then when it's come to the women, they could have chose anyone. They could have chose Jordan Grace and her power. They could have chose the champ, JC Jane, who's the current champ. They went Sol Ruka. And I also think that, Sol is obviously really fun in the ring because she's very innovative. And she's always doing like all these different flips and whatnot and using her gymnastics background and her agility. And I think this storyline with Zarya is meant to flesh out her promos, her character work, her interactions with another wrestler. I think actually they've been really clever with Sol Ruka because rather than just putting the belt on her, going, you're the champ, now go do champ things, they've actually gone, okay, we'll put some belts on you, the mid-card stuff, right? But let's really work on your character. Let's work on your promos. Let's work on how you interact with other wrestlers. Let's really focus on those things. And let's see where we can get, She could be NXT Women's Champ whenever. I don't even know if she ever will be, because I think there's a really good chance they just call her up. I mean, in the soul, if you think the Devil's Kiss is getting people's attention, I can only imagine what the reaction is going to be when they see the Soul Snatcher, because there's going to be a lot of people that have not seen that move. And I remember the first time we saw that move and it blew our minds. And I feel like it's been a couple of years now. So it's hard for us to remember how exciting it was when we first saw it. But she is now hitting it off ropes, not just the corner. She hit it off the ring steps the other day. I think she'll hit off the commentary table, barricades. I mean, trying to make that move as available as possible is so clever. One of the great things about the RKO is you can hit it anywhere. You can hit it outside the ring, in the ring, over by the corner, in the center. Soul Snatcher, you're going to need to jump off Summer. So you are a little more limited. But can she hit it jumping off the edge of the ring to the outsides? I think so, because she just did it off the steps. So she should be able to hit it off the barricade, off the commentary table, off the ropes, off the corner. If she can keep working on like different places, she can get it. That will make it more available. And that's only a good thing, isn't it? And that move, I mean, the RKO for Randy is more than just a move. It is a brand. It is an identity. It is, chanted. maybe the Soul Snatcher might be a little bit wordy, a little bit long. Perhaps we need to think about just shortening the name of it to something that can be chanted. Although you might be able to chant Soul Snatcher, Soul Snatcher, Soul Snatcher. It's not the same as RKO. Well, it's not a million miles, I suppose. Soul Snatcher, RKO. But anyway, my point is, I think she is very much going to make a big splash when she gets called up. I don't think she's going to be too far away. If they really wanted to bring up, say, 3 women, 4 women from NXT, I think she'd be in that pot. And she's just going to naturally stand out because of what she can do. If the Devil's Kiss is going to do such heavy lifting for Stephanie, I've got to think the Soul Snatcher is going to do something similar for Sol Ruka. Plus also, she does like to have her ass out quite a bit, doesn't she? Let's be honest, there's a lot of pervs. The Devil's Kiss works because there's a lady's ass going up and down a lot. And, Sol Ruka's not a shy girl, is she? When it comes to wearing pretty tight gear. So if that is something that you enjoy about the female wrestlers, I would say she's ticking that box very much as well. So, yeah, great in ring. Really well-rounded performer. You could give her a microphone and not worry that she's going to be like freeze up or she's going to be really robotic. She's very natural with her delivery. She's pretty confident and comfortable with her character. Yeah, I think everything's pointing towards her at the moment. But there's lots. I mean, I do think JC has really kicked on. I think her getting that belt from Stephanie was just... It feels like an exhale to me. I think sometimes you don't really think about it, but if you work so hard on something and you are so dialed in, there might be this natural tension of like, got to keep going, I've got to keep working, I've got to make this work, I've got to give 100% all the time. Like, if I'm going to climb this mountain, if I'm going to make it, I've got to give there's just this kind of pent up sort of like, and I think when you get there, you can sort of go, done it, and you can sort of just take that breath, and then that just releases. It just makes you more comfortable, and I think you can just sort of settle into things a bit easier. You're not as amped up. Things aren't as, intense. You've still got to work hard. You still got to put in that same effort. But I wonder if you can just subliminally just relax it. And I feel like that happened to her. I feel like she just got the belt and was like, this is going to be my time. And she just sort of went, oh, I've done it. Got it in her hands. And it's like, right, let's show what we can do. And bang, I think she's been really good. I think it was really good putting the belt on her. Very, very clever. Right. Oh, I can see it's Garl in the ring on the thumbnail, and I am loving that. I'm here for that. It's Garl. It's Garl stam. It's Garl. How long we got? A minute. 1 minute. NXT getting behind JC, who was a bit ice cold before winning the title. She went over Jada, Lola, who were being heavily pushed, but now they're a little bit ice cold at the expense of pushing JC. I don't know. I sort of feel like they're probably ice cold because you haven't done any interesting feuds with them. If you'd done some interesting stuff with them whilst JC was champion, I think they'd be fine. But there's only one belt. That can't be the everything. It can't be you're either champion or you're ice cold, can it? Because, that would mean that the majority of women would be ice cold. So, I think the responsibility is to make sure that you are getting... I couldn't hear it then. Oh. I think the responsibility is that you make sure you've got good creative for those women that haven't got the championship to just lean on. Who do you think will win the Women's Rumble and Chamber matches? I don't know about Chamber match, but I ain't going that far ahead. But I think Liv, Bianca, I think those two are the outright favourites. Liv has long been the one people have been looking at. So, Liv, Bianca. I think Bianca Jade makes a lot of sense. Okay, we're backstage. Look at that. It's pretty fun. We've got the Vanity Projects, and they've got their own little rec room. We've had the VP dorm. This is a good addition. Okay. Brad said he's going to call his mom to get the cleaners to come round. Ricky Smokes like they've got lingerie cleaners now. "2026 is going to be no different for the boys." I really don't mind this. I wonder if this is something that they'll continue onto NXT. Okay, Layla Diggs, Nikita Lyons are going to be kicking off the show. Here's Layla Diggs. Okay, these two doing their dance in the entranceway. Evolve is doing more to showcase Vanity Project and give them a story, but they can't do that with the Vision on Raw, said Steve. Yeah, that is a pretty sick new robe, isn't it? I just hate the dancing from Nikita Lyons. I mean, she is a heel, so I think we're probably meant to find it annoying. But it works. I do find it annoying. I also hate people when they sing their own entrance music. It's okay to sing it like Sean did with, he actually sang it. But like when they come out and sing along to it. Okay. We all find it annoying. You're not alone, said Trin. Thank you, Trini. I'm glad I'm not alone. She is a heel, as we said. We probably are meant to. Malik Blade is in the VIP section. Malik Blade, haven't seen him in a while. Do you remember he used to be in a tag team with Idris and Nofe, and Idris and Nofe sadly no longer with us. Nikita around the back of Layla Diggs. Nikita goes over. Layla grabbing Nikita. She gets picked up, slammed down. Nikita backing over. Trash talk. Kick coming in by Layla Diggs. Nikita going over the other side. Layla charging in. Big knee. I'm really surprised that Nikita is struggling in the early stages of this. She's like the experienced worker. But it's all Layla Diggs in the opening of this, you know. Malik Blade applauding away. Mason Holiday on the outside. Side headlock being applied there by Layla. Crowd's still a little bit thin, you know. over the outside. Shot coming into the midsection. Bang. Layla Diggs rolling back in the ring. Nikita comes over, throws in some big shots. Punches in bunches. Nikita getting back into this. Looking for a suplex. Lovely snap suplex by Nikita. Takes a moment, looks out at the fans. So she's managed to get back into the match now. She's going over, throwing in a kick. She does have really good kicks. Shot into the midsection as well. Over the other side goes Layla. Nikita coming over. Arms outstretched. Over in the middle, picking her up. Got her on the shoulders. Oh. Layla Diggs lands on her feet. Kick coming in. Misses with Inskewy, but lovely. Yeah, like a body scissors. Oh, that was a great kick. She's excellent at those. Those kicks. 1, 2... That's a shame she didn't get the win with that, actually. Her kicks look so good. That is one thing you can't criticize Nikita for. That kick was on the money as well. It was beautiful. Okay. Can you see what I'm doing to your girl? One, 2, 3, good. Layla Diggs wins because Nikita was dancing. She was winning, and then she started dancing, and she lost. That is the Evolve version of... Do you know, I'm not going to criticize it because she lost. I mean, what you would say is, don't dance during your match. But she did, and she lost. So maybe she's going to learn that lesson. Maybe that's the whole point of it. Perhaps we could see some character development. Right, let's go and get the poll up, shall we? We're backstage with Super Sean Legacy. Cappuccino Jones. Marcus. Aaron Rourke. We're going to have your back, says Aaron. We'll be in the VIP section. Here's Timothy Thatcher. So Timothy Thatcher's like, you lot have made me proud. The WWE ID program has made me proud. Keep building. So Timothy Thatcher says to Sean Legacy, I believe you can win the championship. 5-on-5 gauntlet match. I really like that. That is a brilliant idea. Singles match. If you lose, you're out. You get replaced, right? And it's 5-on-5. So you've got to try and eliminate the team. But obviously, you could end up having an advantage. Maybe you get down to the last person for the one. That is so clever. That is such a good idea. Singles matches. And then, like, imagine Raw against SmackDown. You have 5 SmackDown, 5 Raw. Starts as a singles match. Let's say SmackDown wins. The next Raw person comes out. Maybe they win. The next SmackDown person comes out. You keep going until you've got through all 5. One of the team has lost all 5. Really like that. That's a new... That's... They said first time in WWE. I don't remember that. It really makes me think how you could use that on the main roster and how you could use that in other, other parts of the company. Imagine that with feuds like MFTs against Judgment, against Wyatt 6. It's not bad. Could have done that when we had the Bloodline. Right, we are at commercial break, by the way. Good. We were looking for something next week as well, so we'll see what that looks like. The winning team will get complete authority on one of the episodes. So that's the prize. All right, here we go. I feel like I'm seen as Kendal's friend. These two have done so much together, you know. Find your edge. Oh. They've always been together in my mind, them two, you know. I'm sure when I saw Kendal at that house show back in 2024, I think I'm even sure then it was her and Carly Bright. Carly Bright and Kendal have just always been together. Even when they started the Evolve, going back 40 odd weeks ago. This is episode 40. It was Carly Bright and Kendal Gray. So I know that we haven't seen them loads together in, like, you know, within the past few months, like 4 or 5 months, whatever, but that was a bit of a moment, really, them kind of separate him. Carly Bright saying, yeah, sort of just don't want to be known as Kendal Gray's friend. Kendal Gray's like, listen, go and kill it with your personality. To be honest, Kendal didn't seem that bothered. Kendal was like, yeah, sure, no worries. No, you do you, boo. You do you. Oh. I'm not crying, you're crying. I don't, no, fun fact, no one's crying. Here's Drake. Okay, those graphics don't say Bayou. Do those graphics say Bayou to you? They say New Orleans to me. It is that kind of music you'd expect. No, is that right? Are those graphics right? So the graphics say Mardi Gras, New Orleans, fun, beads. But that's not what the music says. Okay, there we go. That's what I was looking for. Steve said New Orleans is Bayou adjacent. Okay, that's going to help me out. It's very specific, though, isn't it? So it's New Orleans Bayou. I don't know, man. I think if you're going to think Mardi Gras party, that's one thing. But if you're going to say Bayou, that's a different thing. I don't know that you combine those two things. Party Bayou. Mardi Gras Bayou. Bloody hell. That's like, in my mind, that's like starting a band and creating industrial death folk. Do you know what I mean? You'd expect industrial death metal, but you wouldn't expect industrial death folk music. I don't even know what that would sound like, but someone needs to make it. Someone needs to make an industrial death folk music album. But that's what this is. You got like flipping Bayou Boy, Funtime Party, Mardi Gras Boy. I don't feel like those two things go together. Well, apparently they do, and it's this. This I'm seeing it. Perhaps it'll work. I have absolutely no idea. I just searched New Orleans. Well, definitely don't want to show that. I just showed New Orleans Bayou. This is what comes up. Look, green. There's New Orleans. Perhaps we're breaking tradition. Perhaps we're moving away from stereotypes. I don't mind his ring gear. I mean, again, it's mental. Doesn't fit Bayou, but... Shoulder block there by Dante. Big boot coming in. Jake is down. Dante, by the way. He's in this match. Riggins and Presley are watching on. Yeah, that 5v5 is so interesting. Daze, do we think there'll be another UK pay-per-view in 2027? Maybe, because I don't think they've announced anything yet, have they? I remember going into this year, like, there was rumours of, France, and thoughts of another mainland Europe one, which turned out to be Germany. But, yeah, I haven't heard anything about this year, so... I think they definitely still want to be around Europe, doing something in Europe. But they do love that French crowd, don't they? I think, wasn't there a rumour that they might have been looking at Italy? Something in my head says... Italy. Nick Khan confirms that Italy will host a PLE in 2026. Okay. Yeah, Italy. Apparently early 2026 as well. Probably Backlash. Maybe not. Italy might tick the Europe box. Yeah. I thought there was something in my head about Italy. Super kick by Dante. Where's its goal? Dante has got suplex. Yeah, big suplex to the big man. Drake on the outside. Drake strikes me as a more fun Josh Briggs. If Josh Briggs had a fun older brother, or even younger brother, I think it would be this Drake guy. Drake Moreau against the ropes. Boom! Discus clothesline. Coming over again, grabbing Dante. Picking him up, slamming him down. One, choke slam, gets it. Drake Moreau beats Dante Chen. The Bayou Boogie. Are we sure that's not Josh Briggs? There's a Disney movie called The Princess and the Frog. That's got a mixture of New Orleans and Bayou. I took my daughter to see that when she was young. It was last 2D Disney film. Steve, shout out to you. Perhaps that's his inspiration. Perhaps he's gone full on Princess and the Frog. Here's Chewie. Thank you for such a warm welcome. He was on LFG, apparently. Okay. Is he going to say that word again or whatever it was? Here's Riggins and Presley. Oh, they've got an opening. Someone was like, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it, Mardi Gras Bayou. I'm just getting here. I'm just dipping my toes. He's not ready. Da, 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 da. Got a bit of Charlie Dempsey. He was over in Japan. Oh. Charlie Dempsey is not happy. He wants Timothy Thatcher. Let's figure out who the best technical wrestler is. That'll be good. Bring your best, because I'll be sure to beat it. It's Gold's got a shirt! What the hell? It's Gold! Sell them shirts, you cowards. WWE shop, sell them shirts. Dude, he needs Galtine. He's going to join whatever team can afford his ridiculous fee. Imagine if no one reaches out to him. That would be pretty fun. Coming up next, it's Garl against Eli Knight. Still no shirts up. The flip. The hell? Why doesn't Evolve have merch, said Jennifer? I don't know. I have no idea. If you could choose what show to be on, what would it be? Raw, NXT, or SmackDown? NXT. Defo. Because I'd need to learn. I ain't going to Raw and SmackDown and flipping embarrassing myself. I'll do that on NXT where a lot less people are going to see. It's Garl. Okay, we are at commercial break. We're half an hour in to the show. Hey, I've just thought, what about Pro Wrestling Tees? Do they sell stuff on there? For Evolve talent. That would be a real mistake by WWE, wouldn't it? Because these guys must have merch. And they must be selling merch. But clearly they're not selling it through WWE.com. It's not a good look, Tate. It's not a good look to have that vest. You look like a poor man's member of the Shield. It's gone. Dante Chen is doing good, said King Notorious. Jennifer said Dempsey, Thatcher, that should be NXT, not Evolve. Matt Pete said the Evolve talent are basically independent wrestlers. They're not exclusive to WWE. So, of course, they will do their own merch. Yeah, but they sign a WWE ID contract. So you would imagine that with WWE presenting them on Evolve, that they would have Evolve merch and WWE ID talent merch. Okay, Presley just says they're looking for a spot to fill and they're interested in getting Tate Wilder. Oh, he's not thrilled about it. He's not thrilled about it. Right. Here's Eli Knight. Let's go. 2 days till the end of an era, says James. Oh, you can hear people's reactions when it's Garl's graphics hit. What's that medal? Medals? He's got 3 of them. Oh, yeah. It's gone with some medals. But I don't think the commentators have spoke. I was waiting to find out what he'd won the medals for. tanned, jacked, and ready to attack. Right, here we go then. It's Gall against Eli Knight. Eli Knight flips over. Goes for a shot. Eli Knight. Gall picking him up. Hurls him against the ropes. Eli Knight hanging onto the rope. Flashes the guns. Oh, straight onto the shoulders of It's Gall. Doing some squats. Couple of elbows coming in there by Eli Knight. It's Gall against the ropes over the other side. Ah, that was a monstrous drop kick right in the face. Gall back in the corner. Oh my God. I'd love it if he was like going off about his looks right now. Ah, drop kick in the back by Eli Knight. Looking for the cover. 2. Kick out there by It's Gall. Goes over against the ropes. Eli Knight coming in. Grabbing a hold of him. Ah, chop coming in. Tries to push him back. Eli Knight coming up. It's got him up in the air. Slams him down. Gall. Lovely. Discus clothesline. Eli Knight looks good. 1, 2. Kick out. Needed a bit more oomph. Right now, Gall. He did shout something, but he couldn't quite pick it up. Shot coming to the back. Again, he's got a knee right in the back there of Eli Knight. Eli Knight going over to the corner. Oh, shot to the midsection. And again, going upstairs. Big forearm. On the shoulders. This is what a top-tier athlete looks like. Ah, look at that. Right into the gut. Going for the cover. 2. I like how he interacts with the crowds. Where he gets an opportunity to is talking to them, keeping them involved. So easy to get into the ring and just ignore the crowds. Just sort of get in there, do your work. But nice stretch. Look, quick look around. Elbow to the midsection. Ask him. Oh, flashing of the guns. Right now, the crowd are getting behind Eli. There was an Eli chant. There's a lot of sizzle, but there is some steak, says Pete Rosenberg. It's a good line. Shots coming in there by... Oh, against the ropes. No joy over the other side. Big clothesline by Eli Knight. Taking over. It's Gall. Eli Knight back up. Middle rope. Look at that. Great work. 1, 2. Shoulder up. Shoulder up by It's Gall. Lovely springboard move there. Springboard moonsault. By Eli Knight. Going to the outsides. It's Gall is in the drop zone. Oh, It's Gall moved out the way. Big boot. German. Ooh, he landed on his feet. Ah, Inzaguri to the back of the heads. Inzaguri to the back of the heads. It's Gall. Yeah. Had that well scouted, and It's Gall's like, yeah. Spins it round. Yo, he did. It's Gall might win. Oh my God, It's Gall wins. What a day. I was certain he was losing that match, you know. I was adamant he was losing that match. It's Gall. It's Gall. Well, there we go. It's Gall. Wins and wins clean. Tell you what, it's refreshing, isn't it? Seeing heels win clean. We won't hear the end of this for a while. Okay. Right, is this our main event then? Coming up next, Super Sean Legacy against Tate Wilder. The #1 contenders match. Really looking forward to that gauntlet match next week, though. I think that's such a good idea. It's not really, I'm just looking on my list. There's not really too many people talking about it, you know. I think AEW have got a pretty big show tonight, though, so I think that that's getting a bit of the, a bit of extra attention. Sean Legacy versus Tate Wilder. Oh, just got a glimpse of Wendy Choo. Just a glimpse. Mayor Pete said AEW. I've not heard of it. Oh, it's some little local promotion, I think. But it's go. I think the mystery man is The Rock, says Beast Modes. You can tell I just text my co-workers recently, says Jennifer. Oh, here's Wendy. She's lying down backstage. I feel like I'm spiraling, says Wendy. Who's come to meet Wendy? We've worked so hard. I can't even tell you who that is. Who is that? Oh, it's Chantel. Who did she think she was talking to? So Wendy was like, we've worked so hard, as if she's been working with someone. Perhaps like a therapist or something, maybe. But it wasn't a therapist. It wasn't. It was Chantel Monroe. And she's got no therapist credentials whatsoever. Here's Super Sean Legacy. That's pretty fun. Slow-mo high fives. That's pretty fun. Daze, would you go to Italy for the stuff surrounding the show if you're streaming the pay-per-view? If it was WrestleMania, yes. Oh. Kendal Gray is going to address the Evolve universe. She going to forfeit? She going to forfeit? I don't think she should. Okay. Yeah, if it was like a WrestleMania and it had WWE World. But you know if we get WWE World in Europe, it's going to suck. It's going to absolutely suck. Normally in America, you get loads of really fun memorabilia and stuff from the warehouse to look at and take pictures of. I bet if they do it over here, there'll be a pen that was used once in a contract signing, probably on Raw this year, and it'll just be in a glass box, and everyone will be gathered around going, is that it? Is that all they've brought over, a pen? Well, take my picture anyway. Whilst we're here, might as well. You know it would suck. Right. Sean Legacy against Tate Wilder. Mayor Pete said, I hate to say it, but I think Saudi will be big. Sean Legacy getting his intro. Daze, do you like Orlando? Love it. What do you like to do there? Well, the great thing about Orlando, and I'm sure it's true of some other places as well, there are Walmarts and Targets absolutely flipping everywhere. You can go down the road and you'll just stumble across one. So I always like to go and do toy hunts. Jump into Walmart, see what they've got. Jump into Target, maybe go to Five Below or TJ Maxx. Or, I mean, there's no Toys R Us anymore, which is a real shame. But yeah, I like to jump in and like try and go to like toy shops as well. That was great. There's a video on the channel, which I'm sure you've seen, but that's one of the toy shops in Orlando. Oh, it's so good. Really good. I mean, my mind was blown, honestly, just looking around all the stuff they had. It was just row after row of just like loads of figures, different things, Walking Dead, Star Wars, Star Trek, wrestling, Simpsons. I mean, they just had everything. So, yeah, I love doing that. And because it's like tourists, there's so many restaurants. I mean, they've got everything, every kind of chain imaginable. So, weather's great. Loads of places to eat. Loads of places to go and do like toy hunts and whatnot. You can go to NXT live events, which I do every time I go. Always go to at least one NXT live show. Not the one that's recorded, but like their house shows. Love doing those. I would definitely next. There's a bit, to be honest. There's lots to do, and you can always do the theme parks. So yeah, there's lots. We're underway with this main event. Tate Wilder is in control. Over goes Tate Wilder. Nice arm drag. Oh, Sean Legacy goes over. Oh, down he goes again. Tate Wilder over, chatting to the crowd, getting fired up. This is our number one contenders match. Tate Wilder with Sean Legacy. Kick coming into the midsection. Blow to the back there by Sean. Shot coming into the midsection there by Tate Wilder. Another shot coming in by Tate Wilder. These two exchanging blows at the moment as Sean Legacy tries to pick him up. Reverse. Slams him down. Looking to go over. Middle rope. Oh, springboard senton. 1, 2. Kick out there by Legacy. Okay, looks like we're going to commercial break. Big Time said it's been a year since WWE introduced the women's IC and US titles. What do we think of the booking of the belts? Pretty rubbish, isn't it? I mean, there's not really any other way you can say it. Julia fans are upset about how Julia was used. And I am obviously annoyed about Maxine winning. So it's just, I've heard that those belts are just not anything. They just don't care about them. I think that shows in the booking as well. I like Chelsea with it. I'm not down on Chelsea. I think Chelsea can have some fun with it, you know? I think that's probably the best we've done so far. Becky with the belt gave it a bit of credibility. I don't think she needed it. Lyra winning it first off was fine, but yeah, I think big picture, you got to say it's not been great. Kept the Dream said, Daze, what talent do you think has done well in 2025? What talent has done well in 2025? EO has done really well. She might be the MVP of the year. So I think she's done really well. I think JC has obviously done really, really well. Javon has had a fantastic year. I know that some of the booking might have been frustrating, but he's had a really good year. I'm trying to think more main roster. I'm just thinking Naomi had a good year. Real shame she had to step away. I think her mixing up her gimmick, changing her gimmick was fantastic for her. So I think she had a really good year. I think Seth had a really good year until he got injured. It is a shame the Vision story was not more captivating, but he won the main event of Mania Night 1. He got Heyman as a manager. He had a group created, built around him, involving some of the best young talent. He won Money in the Bank. He cashed it in after a big ruse at SummerSlam to become world champion. I mean, everything up until the point he gets injured, you got to say it really was a great year for him. So, yeah, there's a few names for you from main roster, men, women, NXT. And Shakeem said, can I get a shout out to the OG? Shakeem, shout out to you, buds. Hope you're doing well. Just double checking I do. Oh, no, I don't. I didn't subscribe to you, Shakeem. I don't know why. There was an admin error, and I can tell you that there's going to be a full investigation, but I do subscribe to you now. Right, where are we? We've got about 4 minutes left to go. Sonny said, I matched with a Sikh guy, and he's spiritual. He's been to wrestling shows. He's a fan of it. He's pretty nice, and he accepts me for being pagan. Good luck, Sonny. Super kick there by Sean. Tate Wilder goes down, gets back up. Sean with Tate Wilder, spinning him round. Bang! Into a backbreaker. 1, 2. Oh, shoulder up. Shoulder up. Aaron Rourke. I think that's Cappuccino, isn't it? And I don't know who was on the right. Was it Marcus? Sean going out. Oh, back elbow coming in. Charging in. Going for a big shot. No joy. Gets out the way. Tate Wilder in the corner. Sean Legacy. Oh, to the outside. Crashes and burns. Suicide dive. Oh, that barricades. Oh. Oh, it's all breaking down. We got Presley. We got Riggins. PC guys are coming down. We got that big match coming up. Who? Braxton Cole. Oh, it's broken down. It's a big brawl. It's chaos. It's carnage. Tate Wilder's not happy with Braxton Cole. He gets nailed by Cappuccino Jones. Okay, this match is continuing. Legacy grabs Tate Wilder. I think he's going to put him away and get the win. Legacy has got Tate Wilder up. Would Legacy have beaten Tate Wilder without outside interference? He does get the win. Legacy gets the win. Legacy becomes #1 contender. I don't know that he would have won without that outside assistance, though. Don't know how I feel about Sean Legacy being #1 contender again. He already had his shot. Fell short. I thought we would go for someone different, but... Nah. I mean, I really like the match. It's hard to get invested because we just don't know loads about this talent. That is a bit of a downside, isn't it? I mean, I don't even know. I don't even know who that Braxton Cole is. Jackson Drake is attacking Sean Legacy right now. I'd be more into it if it was Vanity Project that was part of one of the teams. Kicks coming in. Shots coming in. Shots raining down. Sean Legacy down. Stomp coming in. There we go. Jackson Drake stands tall over Sean Legacy. Show comes to an end. Yeah, not bad actually. I wasn't crazy about the coming up next Sanford and Sons on Son. I think he's only got one son. I don't know how many sons he's got. From 1972. I'm watching it right now. Yeah, I think the only downside is that there's a lot of talent I just don't know. We've seen Riggins and Presley. Cappuccino's fine. If It's Gold joins, that'll be good. Tate Wilder feels like he might be finding his way. And there's enough there. But there's still a lot of unknowns. But I suppose that's just going to forever be a problem with Evolve, isn't it? Where you're never going to really get a chance to know anyone that well because they ain't going to stay that long because they'll go to NXT. Maybe it would be nice if both teams had a captain that was a recognizable name just to give it that little extra, you know. Just that little extra. That would be quite good. I like it. I'm really into that match idea, though, because I think you could really do something with that. You could really do something with that. I'm not saying that it could be the new Survivor Series. But I do like the idea of two factions. You can do a War Games or a big faction thing, or you can do this singles match. When someone gets eliminated, the next person comes in. And, you know, it's about who's, you know, it's a bit like cricket. Because you're a team, but you're never in the ring at the same time. And it's individual performances. And those individual performances kind of count up to the team. And that's like cricket. When you're a batter, batting, it's all about you getting the biggest score you can. But your score goes to the team score. So in many ways, this is a cricket match. That's how I look at it. And I like cricket, so this works very well for me. Daze, what I don't get is there is a competition. There is no number one contender matches. All the big names are thrust into the tag division. Tiffany's 200 plus title reign was basically Nia Jax. Io's was Forgetful. What I don't get is where is the competition? There is no number one contender matches. Right, got you. Yeah, I don't really understand why they don't do number one contender matches. I mean, I feel like there was some fun stuff going on the build to WrestleMania. You know, we had the whole Io, Rhea, Bianca, all that kind of was playing out. So that was all pretty fun on the road to WrestleMania. But yeah, I mean, Tiffany didn't really have much, did she? Number one but then I don't think the rosters are right. Part of it might be that the rosters since Mania have been wrong. And we just haven't been drowning with like really good options. I mean, perhaps BFAB should be down in NXT. I mean, if you took Ivy Nile, BFAB, Michin, you know, you took these kinds of names, maybe a Zoe Stark, that are a bit flat. I'm not saying you get rid of them at all. I'm just saying, what if you put them back down in NXT and, you know, warmed them back up again and replace them with Sol Ruka, JC Jane, Jordan Grace? You know, the names that you find yourself not really caring about, put those names, replace them with the NXT names and, you know, revitalize the whole division. Give yourself loads of great options. I mean, that to me is not a problem. You know, Michin comes back up very soon. She's not down there for long. But, you know, she goes down there. We do some stuff. We try and, you know, get a bit of momentum going. Work on anything that they need to work on. And, you know, get them kind of going again. I mean, what's the alternative? Some of these are just going to stay in the background until they get released. That's what it feels like. That we've seen that happen with like a Tegan Nox, with a Shayna Baszler. Don't forget, Shayna Baszler was the NXT Women's Champion. Came up with quite a bit of hype. And then just found herself getting used sparingly until she ended up going. I mean, is that the future for Ivy Nile? Is that what's going to happen to Kiana James? Is it that you get called up and they might use you a little bit, but not really? And the less they use you, the less attractive you become, and until you end up just getting cut. I don't know. I sort of agree. We could do some number one contenders matches, but I just think the roster has been really wrong in 2025, and I think that would be an area that needs tightening. One of the crutches I'm beyond tired is wrestlers going to Adam Pearce each week, demanding title matches and making it official. Okay. Did you know I am low-key famous? Said William. Random people know who I am via your stream. It's weird. Not all the time, but random enough, says William. James said, what's cricket? It's a good question. It was an old sport that used to be around, but I don't think anyone plays it anymore. Certainly the England team don't play it. Days with AJ Lee being limited appearances. When do you think we will see her next? Royal Rumble. Royal Rumble. Right. There we go. I think we're done. Appreciate people joining us. Hope you enjoyed this week's Evolve. I'm very much looking forward to the gauntlet matches that are coming up next week. Genuinely think that'll be good. And also we're going to hear from Kendal Gray. So hopefully she's going to have something interesting to say. I didn't think this would be a mind-blowing episode. I don't think it was a mind-blowing episode. But you know what? It was an episode. So definitely going to be taking that. Appreciate you joining us, and I will see you again.